This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, my name is CSR. I have total 20 plus years of IT experience, out of which 9 years into data science and big data analytics. So in this video, I'm going to cover big data analytics of a major tool, which is called Hadoop. Many of you are already aware of Hadoop. I'll just explain about usage of Hadoop and where exactly Hadoop can be used in the applications and products, and what way it helps to analyze a big data. In the previous video, we understood what is a big data, right? So Hadoop framework is invented by Doug Cutting. He is basically Java programmer. He has used Java language and built a big algorithm, which is a very important algorithm, and that algorithm is being named as Hadoop. This name is taken from elephant tie, which is given by his son while he was playing with this elephant uh, tie, and same thing is being used as a logo. So Hadoop is a kind of a framework which contains many software libraries. Let's see history of Hadoop. So we used to have a Nudge project, which is a kind of a search engine similar to Google before Google. One fine day, Google introduced or released white paper on Google file system. Doug Cutting happened to read that white paper, then made him to discover Hadoop distributed file system, HDFS, in 2006. Then 2007 onwards, Yahoo started using HDFS, that is Hadoop, which is a part of Hadoop framework. The latest release is Hadoop 2.x version. Now this year, I think the last year onwards, so many companies are using Hadoop 3.x version. So which is the latest and stable version of Hadoop. So what is Hadoop? Hadoop is an open source. It's one kind of framework which is donated to Apache company. Apache is a software foundation company. They promote all open sources. So one of them is Hadoop, which contains many software libraries. These software libraries are used to distribute data. That is a huge amount of data in large data sets across a cluster of computers. That means networked computers, and compute those large data sets data by using a simple programming models. Remember this simple programming model. In Hadoop environment, you don't need to write a large volume of code. You will be writing a very simple code which can be understood by anybody, any layman. We can say Hadoop is a platform which provides both like storage, which is distributed, and computation capabilities, which is also distributed. It is mainly designed to scale up from single machine to thousands of machines. That means you can work with a single machine, can work with thousands of machines by using Hadoop. So that is the power of Hadoop. That means today you have very small project, very low amount of data. You can start with a single machine, then keep on adding machines to your cluster. The Hadoop can support for thousands of clusters, thousands of machines. Why Hadoop is so popular? Because it is very simple, robust, highly scalable, highly accessible. That is the reason most of the companies started using Hadoop. Nowadays, almost every company in every country, Hadoop is being placed. So Hadoop has got its own ecosystem in which there are many modules, like HDFS is one module, MapReduce is one, and computation is another one, HBase is another one, Hive is another one, Pig is another one. Similarly, we have all these components. All these components put together, call it as Hadoop ecosystem. These ecosystems are used to manage the data, access the data, process the data, storage data. But here we'll not be using all these components. For our requirements, or most of the requirements, will be with HDFS, MapReduce, and Hive. So database point of view, most of the organizations, Hive, HDFS being used as a data warehouse or data lake, the MapReduce and is being used as a computation engine. So we will be mainly focusing on MapReduce and a computation engine, HDFS and the Hive in Hadoop ecosystem. In Hadoop framework, we have mainly two components. One is a storage component, another one is a computation component. Within the computation, we have a MapReduce, then advanced computation is and computation engine. So finally, we can say there are two components. One is a storage component, another one is a computation component. We will discuss in detail about and computation and MapReduce computation. Don't worry now. We started with the distribution. What is the distribution? What do you mean by distributed file system, right? So in normal computers, in normal traditional technologies, whenever you store file, that file will be stored somewhere in hard disk and will be performed computations on the file what you store. But when you come to distributed environment, where you will be having a networked computers, multiple computers, whenever you load data, that data will get distributed to multiple machines. Each machine we call it as a node. From now onwards, we don't call it as a computer, we call it as a node. Node is nothing but a computer which can store and do computations. Store something and do something, right? So whenever you store file, that file will be distributed to across computers. We can also use single computer to distribute data. So a single machine also can be used as a distributed system, or multiple computers also can be used as a distributed file system. But what is a cluster here? More frequently, we keep hearing about Hadoop cluster, set up Hadoop cluster, work with Hadoop cluster. What exactly the cluster? What cluster contains? See, cluster is nothing but networked computers again. But computers have a different roles here in a cluster environment. What are those roles? What are those computers? Let's see. If you look at this box contains machines. These machines are called slave machines because these machines will store your actual data and do actual computations. Your actual a plus b whole square or a plus b will be performed here. Actual a value, b values are stored here. These are actual work horses. This is where your actual results get generated. That is the reason these machines are called slave machines. So we can have from one machine to thousands, lakhs of machines in slaves. This is one of the components of cluster. But who will manage these slave machines? These slave machines can also be called as data nodes. Who will manage these data nodes? All these data nodes managed and controlled by something called master node. Something called master node. This master node can also be called as a name node. This master node also contains the data, but that data is metadata. So data about data. What does it mean? Here, this master node contains how many data nodes are available in a cluster, what are the directories created, how many files are created, what are the permissions created for every machine, for every user, and each machine contains how much volume of data stored, and what are the different activities performed on all these machines. That information is maintained in name node in the form of metadata. Remember, this name node will never do your actual computation, will never store your actual data. This will only monitor or direct or delegate task to all the slave nodes. Then there is something called secondary master. This will be backup for primary master. There is a backup mechanism between primary master and secondary master. Will be discussed later sessions. Don't worry now. Now, when we say cluster, cluster contains the slave nodes, that is data nodes, master nodes called name nodes, secondary masters, that means secondary name nodes. All these machines put together is called Hadoop cluster. Right? Whenever you are asked set up Hadoop cluster, you need to configure data nodes, configure name node, configure secondary name node. Whenever users submit task, the task will be taken by master node and divide the task into multiple small number of unit of tasks and distribute to all the machines and run against data wherever data is located, do computations, generate the results and combine the results and show to user. This is what is going to be happening in Hadoop cluster. Remember, any number of slave nodes can be created, but only one master node is created. Multiple secondary masters can be created for one cluster. That is the understanding of cluster. Remember, there are different types of clusters, like different modes of setting up a cluster. Pseudo distributed mode cluster or cluster mode, standalone mode. For practice and all, we'll be using pseudo distributed mode or standalone mode, but real-time applications will be going with the cluster mode. Just now we have seen the cluster. But whenever you are asked any type of cluster, you need to establish name node, data node, secondary name node, resource manager, node manager. Whenever you see all these 5 engines or daemons running on your machine or within a cluster, that means your Hadoop cluster established successfully. This is how real cluster looks like. This is one of the data centers I just copied from internet. This is one cluster. In that we have rack 1, rack 2, racks, multiple racks. In each rack we have multiple nodes. These are square boxes, rectangular boxes are called nodes. Now slowly we are getting into technical things. We discussed that Hadoop contains mainly 2 components. One talk about storage, another one talk about processing, that is computation. When you talk about storage, we should talk about HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System. When you talk about processing, we should talk about MapReduce. So now, 2 technical things here. One is HDFS, another was a MapReduce. HDFS stands for Hadoop Distributed File System. There are 2 layers. The first layer is storage layer, second layer is a programming layer. In the storage layer, we have a name node, data nodes, secondary name node. Computation layer, we have a job tracker, task tracker. Whenever we say establish cluster, in technical point of view, we should see name node, data node, secondary name node, job tracker, task tracker. So for one cluster, there can be only one job tracker, one name node. Multiple secondary name nodes, multiple task trackers, multiple data nodes. Depends on capacity of your cluster. Based on your requirement, you will be designing your cluster. There you can have any number of data nodes created. Now, let's see one by one. What is a storage layer? What is a programming layer? A storage layer, Hadoop distributed file system. It is mainly used to store and manage huge amount of data, more than terabytes of data. So whenever you have a huge amount of data, which is more of unstructured, semi-structured, multi-structured data, then go for HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System. When we talk about HDFS, we should talk about Hadoop framework, because HDFS is a part of Hadoop framework, one of the components of Hadoop framework. So HDFS is highly scalable. It provides faster access. Not only that, highly fault tolerant. That means whenever there is any problem, whenever there is a fault in the data, it can recover automatically and make your execution run without failure. Another very important thing is processing logic close to the data rather than the data close to the processing logic. In the traditional technologies and databases, whenever we submit application, that application pull the data from out of the database and do the computations and get back the results to the database. But when you come to Hadoop system, Hadoop algorithm, processing logic, that means application will move to data rather than moving data to code or application. Because when you are working in a big data environment, there will be a huge petabytes of data. Moving a petabytes of data to code is a tedious task. So code is always less than the data. In Hadoop beginning itself, we discussed a very simple code will be written. So moving a simple code to the data is easiest task. That is the reason the main concept of Hadoop is moving a code to database. That means code will move to the database, do arithmetic operations and get the results and get back the code. Code movement will happen, not the data. Another important feature is HDFS will enable users to do parallel computations on nodes. It is highly reliable. We will be discussing in further sessions how it is highly reliable. That means the HDFS will always be available for applications to do their computations. Another feature of HDFS is it works for commodity hardware and software. That means very cheaply available hardware and software. Another important feature is streaming data access. That means write once, read many times activities. For example, news article, you write once but read many times. Once you write the news, we cannot modify, we don't modify. We don't find such stuff of requirements like historical data, videos, audios, images. Once you record them, you don't modify them. So write once, read many times activities, you go for HDFS. We cannot override HDFS. But these kind of requirements only you go for HDFS. As we discussed before, when we say Hadoop daemons, we have 5 daemons: name node, secondary name node, data node, job tracker or resource manager, task tracker or node manager. We will be discussing one by one. What is name node? What is function of name node? What is the role of name node in a cluster? Where all these exist in a cluster. Remember, in a cluster, you will see name node, secondary name node, data node, job tracker, resource manager, task tracker, or node manager. Once you see all these daemons running in your cluster, that means you established Hadoop cluster successfully. That will be in a distributed storage and computation environment. Right. So with this, I'll stop here. This will give you a basic idea of Hadoop. So if you want more videos, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be adding a number of videos in future days about organizations, about salary structures, about the technologies, about the projects, how to impress your project manager, how to impress your client, how to work effectively with the technologies, how to work, how to make yourself productive with the low technical skills, right? So all these kind of videos I'll be sharing with you. I'm happy to see you there in my channel. Thank you so much.